Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Get Money Show for this week's Run It Up Wednesday. Welcome, rich friends. I am so thrilled to have you here. Welcome to all of you guys who are watching over on Instagram, and welcome to all of you who are going to be watching over here on YouTube. So as we are waiting for you guys to get into the room, I want to ask you a question before we get started, and then I'm actually going to tell you something and just give you all some flowers real quick, because I am so grateful for this space that you have allowed this channel to be in. Okay, so if you're watching on Instagram, let me know that you're watching on Instagram. Say hey, say what's up. If you're watching on YouTube, do the same thing for me. Okay, today is going to be a day that you're going to want to take notes. You are going to want to have your pen and your pad, because this is going to be a game changer for you. I bet you never thought that you could own property without dealing with toilets, termites, tenants, all the T's, right? But you can. And before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and give you some time to get yourself a pen and some paper, because I'm going to be teaching tonight or today. I'm going to be teaching today, y'all. Okay, so make sure you get your stuff. But before we get into that, do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, okay? The reason that I say that, and I say that every single week, because of course I want you to like the channel, I want you to subscribe to it, and I want you to comment. And that does a number of things. But I am so incredibly grateful for every single one of you who show up to the Get Money Show every time I do a live, even those of you who only come one time, those of you who have come a couple times, those of you who come every single week. I am so incredibly grateful. I just got a notice yesterday that this channel, which has only been in existence, you guys, for 4 months. I've only been doing this for 4 months. In those 4 months, you guys have collectively watched 3,000 hours of my content, which means to me that what I'm teaching you must be incredibly valuable, because you are not going to be wasting your time. You could be literally doing anything else under the sun, and you choose to consume what it is that I am pouring my heart and my time and my energy into. And I am so grateful. So YouTube has 2 levels of what they call the YouTube Partner Program. So the first level is 3,000 watch hours. The second level is 4,000 watch hours. So I need you guys to do me a favor and just continue to show up, continue to watch this channel, continue to share it with your friends, with your family, with anyone who you think needs this sort of information. Because I do a lot of research on every single episode. I do a lot of preparation because I want to come correct. I never, ever want to show up half-assing anything. I want to give you the real, and make sure that you are setting yourself up for your money wins. And the reason I started this channel in the first place was because I had my own money fails. And I've told this story several times, but I actually was hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt from a failed business venture. And I always considered myself to be pretty good with money. Like I wasn't like a frivolous spender. Like you won't find a Gucci or Prada or Dolce & Gabbana, nothing in my closet, right? Like I'm not that person. But I call myself being a good steward and multiplying what I had already created with one business and trying to do it with a second business. And that second business did not work out. And that ended up leaving me with hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. So I literally had to recalibrate what I thought I knew about money in order to get out of that debt as quickly as possible. And I did that for myself. And I found that within 8 months, I had paid off $147,000. Those of you who have been around here for a while, you've heard this story before, right? And I looked up and I was like, oh my goodness. And people always say, well, how did you pay off $147,000 in 8 months? You must have had a crazy good job. I don't have a job. I work for myself. So if I don't kill it, I don't eat it, basically, right? Which means that every dollar that the business makes, it has to go back into the business. I have to pay myself a salary, of course, but I also have employees to pay. I have rent at our building to pay. I have all these other things to pay. So it wasn't that I was making all this money from the business, because that business money was going back to the business. Whatever money I made that helped me pay off that $147,000 was a salary that I pay myself in addition to every little extra ounce of money that came into my home. So I remember one time Nielsen, Nielsen, the TV rating company, they sent me $5 in exchange for me filling out some kind of survey. Y'all, that $5 went to the debt. I remember any kind of speaking engagement I would get, that money went to the debt. Like literally every ounce. I wasn't taking any trips. I wasn't buying any extra clothes. I was shopping at Aldi for groceries. Like every little bit of money that I got, I was sacrificing it and putting it toward the debt so I could pay that joint down as fast as possible. And within all of that, I ended up learning how much the 1% does not want us to know, like what I'm going to teach you today. And if you are coming in today, do me a favor and say hey to me. Say what's up. Don't be a stranger. Let me know who you are. Let me know where you're dialing in from. I like to say hello to my watchers and my followers. Hold on, I'm just going to plug in here over on Instagram so I don't die. I poured everything I could into that, and I started talking about it. I started talking about how I was able to pay off this money in a much faster way than what the traditional, money gurus online would tell you to do. You follow what they're talking about. You being spent 20 years trying to pay off some debt. Like I ain't got all that kind of time, right? So, doing everything that I could to pay off that debt and also multiplying my money passively so that extra passive income was working in my favor so that I could pay off that debt even faster without me having to work harder for it, right? And so through that traumatic experience, right? Just like being bogged down, thinking like, oh my gosh, I might actually have to get food stamps. I might have to, move back in with my parents. Like, I don't even know how I'm gonna take care of all this because I owe so much money. Through all of that stress, I remember asking God, why do you have me going through this? Why me? Like, I'm a good person, right? Why did I have to deal with this? I now understand that was the springboard because he wanted me to use my own story as a story to teach you guys how to do the same thing, how to make the money that the 1% makes, but that will never teach you this, doesn't want you to know, right? How to be able to live passively and teach that same stuff to my own son so that he doesn't have to unlearn all the things that I had to unlearn, right? And you can teach this to your children and grandchildren and people around you as well, right? So they don't want you to know these things. And this is today's topic, which is how you can buy a casino, Topgolf, even a Six Flags, Publix, Target, all these stores that you all know and love, how you can buy it. You, Angie, Augie, Valerie, Bernadine, Linda, Deshawn, Dr. Nicole, all of you guys, Jasmine, all of you guys can buy these things today for less than $100. And I do it. My child does it. He's 13 years old, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it, okay? Again, do me a favor and like this channel, leave a comment, and subscribe, okay? Subscribe to my channel. Help me get to that 4,000 watch hour milestone, you guys. I'll be so grateful. I'm a little bit over 3,000 now, and I'm shooting for 4,000. So like it so we can actually get to 3,000 subscribers also, and we can get to 4,000 watch hours. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Okay. Also, share this, press share, and share it with a friend, okay? Hey, Deshawn from Maryland. What's up, Linda from North Carolina? Hello, Bernadine from Maryland. Hey, Audrey from Virginia. Good morning, Jasmine, rich friend. Hey, from South Carolina. All you guys are in the house. I'm so excited to see you. Make sure that you share this video with a friend. Do not be a gatekeeper. Do not be stingy. The 1% doesn't want us to know this information. They definitely don't want us to know this information. So make sure that you are sharing it so that other people can join in. Because what we have never been taught in life is that you don't have to work hard for money. You don't have to work hard. We have all been conditioned. If you feel like you've been conditioned to work hard for money, say work hard in the comments. Say, I work hard in the comments. I work hard. Because I know I sure as hell have worked hella hard, right? And the thing is, you don't have to. There's so many passive income vehicles, and this is one of my favorites to talk about. I haven't talked about this yet on the channel, but this is going to really get you excited. Thank you, Stevie. Oh, hey, Stevie, wonderful. It's been so long. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Moneybag Bay over on Instagram says, I work hard. Tommy Seal says, I work hard. Bernadine says, I work hard. I work hard for the money. Do, so hard for the money. Right? We work hard. Deshawn says, Work hard and nothing to show for it. That's that bull, right? You work hard and you ain't got nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, you got Jeff Bezos flying to the moon, literally. You got Donald Trump doing whatever he doing. You got Elon Musk trying to take over the world with robots and all kind of stuff, right? We work hard. Why do they get to benefit from these amazing tax breaks? Why do they pay less taxes than we do when we make less money? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, right? So today I'm going to teach you I've taught you several passive income opportunities. Today I'm going to teach you another one, and this one comes with significant tax breaks that you can benefit from without having to be a billionaire. Let's get into it. All right. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so we can get started. All right. As I'm talking about this, let me know if you could own any business, store, or just anything. What would you own? If you could own it, like, what's your favorite place to shop? Let me know in the comments. For me, it probably will be Target. If it's a mall, let me know. If it's Best Buy or whatever, let me know in the comments, okay? Because I'm pretty sure most of what you guys say are things that you're going to be able to own. Big B over on Instagram says, I'm trying to work smart, not hard. I know that's right. I'm trying to work smart, not hard. Katrina says she wants to own a Target and a Costco. Heather B says Target. Love Fruit says, I think Love Fruit is Shonda. She says Walmart. Kalia says Costco. Blair says Hobby Lobby. Deshaun says Target and Walmart, or Walmart, right? Okay. What if I told you that you could own those stores? Okay. What if I told you that? And I'm not BSing you. All right. So you can own all of these without, and you can even own apartment buildings with tenants in them, right? Without the headaches of termites, toilets, termites, any of that sort of stuff that comes with owning traditional real estate. Okay. I'm gonna teach you how to invest in real estate, commercial real estate and residential, but mostly commercial, for less than $100. Moneybag Bay says outlet. They will own an outlet mall. Perfect. That's a really good one. Okay. So you would do this through something called REITs. REITs is REITs, and that stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. Real Estate Investment Trust. Okay. These are a powerful way to generate passive income. And I'm going to tell you how it generates passive income, because it pays dividends. So if you've been here for any length of time, you've heard me tell you about dividends. And if you don't know what dividends are literally passive income that a entity will pay you just for being an owner as an incentive to own their stock, right? If you're clear on what a dividend is, if you're not clear on what a dividend is, let me know, because I want to make sure y'all are all clear on this, because this is a huge part of this particular topic, that this particular type of vehicle pays dividends. Okay. So a REIT, or a real estate investment trust, a real estate investment trust is essentially it's a company that owns, operates, and finances income producing real estate, right? So income producing real estate, generally through commercial properties. There are some residential ones, but I feel like the commercial ones pay a little bit more money, and I'm trying to maximize my coins. If you try to maximize your coins, put coins in the comments, because I'm trying to maximize mine, right? Again, trying to work hard, trying to work smarter and not harder, like they said over on Instagram. Okay. The beautiful part of REITs is that they are so easy to get into. You trade them pretty much like you do stocks. You buy them pretty much like you do stocks on the stock market. So we've been discussing stocks here on Run It Up Wednesday on the Get Money Show for a while, right? Basically, you need to open up a brokerage account, and I'll go through that for those of you who are brand new. Okay. By the way, if you are brand new to this, put newbie in the comment. If you're an OG, if you've been here for more than just this one time, put OG in the comments. Okay. If you are brand new, put newbie. If you are OG, put OG in the comments. If you've been here for more than one time. Okay. All right. So anyway, you can buy these companies just like you can traditional stock. So if you want, just like you would buy like Nike, just like you would buy Apple, just like you would buy Tesla, just like you would buy any company on the stock market, you can buy these real estate investment trusts, and you literally immediately become a real estate investor, and you benefit from some of the tax benefits that a real estate investor would benefit from as well, without having to go through all the drama of owning an actual house, without having to go through the process of getting $150,000, or $200,000 as a down payment, making that money work, and then somehow, putting that up and then finding a contractor to fix up the house and all that sort of stuff, right? And by the time you do all of that, if you flip the house, you might make a couple $50,000. Like the people next door to me, they just flipped the house that was next door to me, and they flipped it for, I think, like $25,000, right? Which, it seems like a lot of work. That was a lot of work. Like, they were in there hammering stuff and then for months fixing stuff up. And it's like 25,000 is 25,000, but it's like the amount of work that they put in. It seems like they should have made more money than that, to me, right? I mean, a house sold for like $490-some thousand, almost $500,000. And they only made 25,000. It seems like a lot of work, and I want to work smart. I don't want to work hard. Okay. So, by the way, if you're over on Instagram and you want to come where the real party is, come on over to YouTube. Just search for The Get Money Show on YouTube. I will be sharing my screen. I will be running some numbers for them over here. I can't do that over there. So if you want to be a part of that, just search for The Get Money Show on YouTube and just come on over here. Okay. All right. So REITs are required. This is why this is such a great investment vehicle for you guys. REITs are required by law, which means it's guaranteed for you. They're required to pay 90% of their taxable income as dividends. So it's not an option for them. The benefit that the REIT gets in exchange is that they get to avoid corporate taxes. So it's highly to their benefit to not pay those corporate taxes, and instead, which would be higher than the dividends that they would pay out, and instead pay it to you. So you are getting, at minimum, quarterly income, sometimes monthly income, over and above your gains that you get just from owning the REIT, right? So you get the passive income in the form of dividends, which is like the gift, if you will, that they're giving you. And then on top of that, you're still making the gains just like you would on a regular stock. Now, I'm going to give you a number of REITs, and I'm going to tell you which ones are my favorites. Also, the last one I'm going to give you, it costs the least amount, but it actually pays the most. So that's why that one's my favorite. So I'm going to tell you about that. If you are here for that, say I'm here for it in the comments. Let me know you're here for it. Okay. So again, this is a really great passive income opportunity because, again, they're required by law, whereas other companies are not required by law to pay you dividends. They pay you dividends because they want to, and they want to incentivize you to invest in them, but they're not required to. REITs have to, if they want to maintain their status as not having to pay any corporate taxes. Now, I want you to keep this in mind, okay? Remember, we're always talking about how the rich, the wealthy, the 1% gets around paying taxes. I just gave you an example. People who own REITs, or I'm sorry, let me rephrase that so it's not confusing. The companies that own and operate the REITs. So not you and I, right? People who own and operate the REITs, they are the ones that they don't even pay any corporate tax. Like, literally, this is literally a clear example of how the 1% gets away with paying no taxes. And you feel, and I feel, right? We may feel like slighted. Like, why we work so much harder, but they don't have to pay any taxes? It's because they are working the tax code, right? The tax code is written with investors, real estate investors, and business owners in mind. And I shared this last week, right? It's not that the government just wants you to pay more taxes, is that they are gifting these tax loopholes and these tax benefits to people and entities that are doing their work for them. Because the government is kind of lazy, right? They don't want to do all the work. So if you are going to do the work for them, they will incentivize you to do so. So companies and entities and people who own and operate REITs, they don't pay corporate taxes as long as they pay out that 90%, 90, right? 90% in dividends to people like you and I, as long as we own their REIT. Okay. So the moment that you buy a REIT, you immediately become a real estate investor. Okay. Again, they pay dividends from rental income, interest, or both, right? Making this a very passive income opportunity for you. It's a low barrier to entry. This is another benefit, a low barrier to entry because you simply buy it like you would any other stock on the stock market, right? Now, there are quote unquote private REITs. I'm not talking about those because I want it to be on the stock market. I need to be able to see it. I need to be able to see some numbers. I need everything to be public. I don't want no rigmarole, as my mama would say, right? I don't miss me with the bull. I want to see it on the stock market. I want to be able to Google it and be able to see it, right? I need full transparency. So I don't really deal with private REITs. I only deal with public REITs. So those that are traded on the stock market, okay? And I suggest that you do the same. You don't need thousands of dollars to get started with this. Hey, K Joy. You don't need thousands of dollars to get started with this like you would a traditional real estate investment, right? There are no management hassles. So nobody's going to be calling you saying, hey, my toilet broke. I need you to send somebody over here to fix it. No one's be calling you in the middle of the night saying that their electricity is off. You don't have to deal with people trashing your apartment or your house or whatever it is that you're renting to them because they're just bad tenants. You don't have to worry about none of that. So no management hassles, okay? And it's liquid. This is one of the really, really amazing benefits of this is that it's completely liquid. So I'm going to explain what liquidity is for those who don't know. Most of you probably know, but liquidity is basically how easily that asset is turned into cash, right? So if you were to try and sell a house, like an actual house, it's going to take some time, at minimum a few weeks, at most a few months. Depending on the house, it may take a few years, right? Like I think, who was it? Kanye, some celebrity just sold their house, but it took like 3 years to sell it, right? That's not that liquid. It takes time, right? So how quickly can you turn that money? How quickly can you turn that asset from zero or from just the asset that you hold into cash? Okay. Paula says, how can I get started? Paula, I know you're excited, girl. I'm gonna tell you in just a minute. Okay, I'm gonna tell you just a minute. Paula is here. She's like, let's go. I'm ready to get started. Tell me what to do. Okay, Paula, I got you. All right. Just give me a second to run to run through the rest of this for everybody else, and I'll tell you exactly how to get started. Okay. So with REITs, you can easily buy it on the stock market and sell it just like you would a regular stock. So it's extremely liquid. If you need that money right away or for anything, you can turn it into cash pretty immediately. Okay. It may take a day, 24 hours or so, but for the most part, you can turn it into cash right away. Okay. And then the tax advantages, the things that the 1% benefit from that most of us never have the access to, right? Here is how that works. So typically the dividends that you receive, okay, because I know it's always a question when I start talking about stocks, you guys start asking about taxes, okay? The dividends that you receive are going to be taxed as ordinary income. But that means that you'll pay taxes on whatever your regular tax bracket is, right? But however, thanks to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, REITs are benefiting from a 20% pass-through. They benefit for a 20% pass-through deduction. All right, so I'm going to do the math here to show you guys what that means, okay? So that means that basically, let's say you're in the 24% tax bracket. Where's my marker? Let's do the math on here to explain this to you guys, okay? Let's say you're in the 24% tax bracket. Meaning you pay 24% of your income is taxed at 20. Your income is taxed at 24% if that's your tax bracket, okay? But let's say you got dividends from a REIT or some REITs, right? Well, you're only going to pay 80% of the REIT dividends because you benefit from the 20% pass through. Again, another tax loophole that the 1% get that the rest of us don't, right? So let's say you only pay 80% of the REIT. So we're going to multiply that times 80%. And then if you take 24% and multiply by 80%, it actually puts you at 19.2%. So this would be your new tax bracket. So you would be at that looks like 192. 19.2%. Okay, so 19.2% is your new tax bracket, where before you were paying 24%. So you're paying less taxes simply by owning the REIT because you're only paying 80% instead of 100%. All right, so your regular income, whatever you make at your job or what have you, will be taxed at whatever your current tax rate is. But then your REIT dividends will be taxed at 80% instead of 100%. So you'll be taxed at 100% for your other income, 80% for your REIT dividends. So you're actually paying less taxes solely because you own the REIT. Does that make sense? That makes sense? And if you don't believe me, you can take out a calculator and you can just simply do 24, in this example, 24% times 80%, and you'll get 19.2%. Okay. The math is mathing. All right. All right. So let's talk about how to get into these. And then I'm going to tell you some of the best ones that you all should consider. Okay. Again, if you're just now joining, do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Help me get to 4,000 watch hours and 3,000 subscribers. I appreciate you all so much for being here. You literally could be anywhere else, for real. Like, it's the middle of the day as I'm recording this. I don't know what time it is if you guys are watching on replay, but those of you who are here live, you could be doing anything else. Maybe be at work, right? But instead, you are here watching this because you want to learn and you want to get your money. You want to get your money right. Okay. It does not work in IRA because the tax goodness doesn't flow through. Stevie says, "Is this correct that this does not work in an IRA because the tax goodness doesn't?" That doesn't mean that. It works regardless of if it's an IRA, Roth IRA, all that sort of stuff. But with a Roth IRA, for example, Stevie, and some other types of IRAs, you aren't taxed at all until you retire. I'm sorry, you're not taxed. Like a Roth IRA, for example, is not taxed as long as you pull it out when you're 59 and a half or older. So if you were to buy a REIT, for example, and it were to be a part of your Roth IRA account, then you wouldn't be taxed on it, period. Because assuming you didn't pull it out till after age 59 and a half, you don't pay taxes on it. But if you were to pull that money out and it was not in an IRA, then you would pay you would get the 20% tax pass through. So if it was just like in a regular brokerage account, for example. Hope that answers your question. All right. All right. So let's talk about this. We're talking about the tax advantages. So how to get started. Okay. We're going to open a brokerage account. I've shared with you guys how to open a brokerage account several times. It is literally the easiest thing in the world. It might sound complicated. It might sound overwhelming, like opening a brokerage account. Oh my God, I got to get a broker. No. This is very, very simple. You literally pick the brokerage of your choosing. Okay. So it could be Robinhood, which is the one that I use for just everyday stock investing. You are so welcome, Stevie. You're so welcome, darling. It could be Robinhood. I also use Fidelity. I also use Charles Schwab, right? Just for different things. So my HSA is attached to my Charles Schwab account. My Roth IRA, my traditional IRA, my SEP IRA, all of that is attached to my Fidelity account. And then my regular, I want to trade some stocks and make some money that's not attached to retirement or HSAs or any kind of investment long-term vehicle, that's in Robinhood. All right. So you can have more than one brokerage. You can have one brokerage. You can have 100 brokerages. It doesn't really matter. Just pick one. Okay. They pretty much work all the same. But the thing that I would advise you guys of is because a lot of you guys start asking about, what about Cash App? What about like Acorns and all that kind of stuff? As I've always said, I advise that you select a brokerage that is their sole business is investing. And here's why. A lot of the other ones like Cash App and Acorns, they don't have access to all of the stocks and all of the things that you may want to invest in. And the reason they don't have access to those is because they don't pay for it. I bet you didn't know that the brokerages, they actually pay NASDAQ, the NYSE, which is a New York Stock Exchange, the Dow Jones, although they pay what they call the indexes. They pay them to have access to these stocks that are on their index. So if Cash App is only going to pay the New York Stock Exchange, but not pay NASDAQ, then you're going to miss out on a lot of tech stocks, because that's mostly what NASDAQ is made up of, right? Or vice versa. Or you may not have access to some smaller stocks that are kind of just coming out because they don't pay them, right? So that's why I advise, if their sole business is stock investing or brokering, that's what they do. So they're going to be paying those indexes for access to all of them to offer them to you. But again, things like Cash App, that's not their main business. Their main business is transferring money from one person to another. And so since that's not their main business, they are not super incentivized to have access to everything. So what's going to happen is you're going to find a stock or a REIT or an ETF or something that you really want to buy, and you're going to find that's not available, which has happened several times here on the lives when I've been talking about a certain stock, and people who have Cash App or whatever, they go and look for it and they're like, oh, they don't have it. And the reason they don't have it is because Cash App and Acorns and companies like those who don't primarily do brokering, they have not paid those indexes for access to it. So just word to the wise, go with something that is going to actually have everything you want and everything that you could possibly want in the future. We're thinking long-term. We're not just thinking today, right? Because the other problem with this is, let's say you decide, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with Cash App and I'm gonna buy Nike on the Cash App platform. And then let's say you go and you try to buy something that they don't have. And I'm just making this up because I don't know what all they don't have. But let's say they don't have, Apple, hypothetically, right? Because it's not on their index, right? When you go to buy Apple, and let's say you want to sell some of your Nike stock in order to buy Apple, well, you have got to sell that Nike stock, but you can't buy it on that platform because they don't have it. So now you got to sell your stock on Cash App, go and open up a new brokerage at somewhere that actually has the stuff that you want. And now you're rebuying Nike or whatever stock it was at the price that it currently is, as opposed to the price that you got it for over on Cash App. So if that price has gone up, let's say you bought it on Cash App for $20, but now that some months or years has passed by, let's say it's at $50 over on some other platform or just in general, now you got to pay the $50 price when you actually got it for the $20 price before. So don't even set yourself up for the woo-woo. Just set up a correct brokerage account from the get-go. Okay. Like, just don't half-ass this. Just set it up correctly to begin with. And that way you don't have to worry about selling off stuff to try and make money for something else. It's too much. Just go with something reputable that actually does this that's what they do for a living. Okay. So you're going to open up a brokerage account. All you need is really simple information. You just need your social security number. You need your name, your address. That's pretty much it. You don't need to go gather any specific information. They may ask you your household income, maybe, but you should already know that. These are not questions that are going to require a lot of thought or a lot of work from you. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to open up yourself a brokerage account. Just pick one. Okay. They all have apps. Again, if you pick one that's reputable, one that's been around for a while, and one that their primary business is brokering, you will be fine. Okay. Then you're going to select your REIT. And I'm going to talk about some of the REITs today. You select the one that you want, and you simply buy it like you would a regular stock. It makes it super duper easy, right? If you're here for easy money, put easy money in the comments. Easy money. All right. The nice thing about this too is, just like a regular stock, you can actually buy fractional shares. So remember, we've discussed how you can buy, if you don't have, let's say you want to buy something and you don't have all the money that particular stock costs. Let's say it costs $100 and you only have 50, right, to spend. You can buy $50. You can buy a fraction of the share. So it's called a fractional share. So there is literally no excuse anymore for people not investing in the stock market and making passive income. There's literally none, because back in the day, you had to know a broker, right? I remember when Facebook went public, I was still in college, I think, at that time. And I remember seeing in the newspaper, this is how long ago this was, y'all, the newspaper, that Facebook was going to go public. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I want to buy it. But I was like 20-some years old. I had no idea how Robinhood didn't exist, right? None of that. I had no idea how to go about finding a broker. Like, that was not information that regular people like you and I were privy to, right? Like, you would always see the people on TV and in the movies, like shaking the papers in the air and, ringing the bell and stuff like that. And I didn't know where to find those people. I didn't live in New York. I lived in Cleveland, right? So like, where would I find those people? And also back then, you couldn't buy fractional shares. At least to my knowledge, you had to buy whole shares. So as a broke 20-some-year-old college student, where was I going to have all the money that I would have needed to buy a significant amount of shares? I couldn't. But fast forward to today, a lot of that has been democratized. So you can now buy literally shares of any stock for as little as $1, literally, right? Where that stock may cost $100, $200. But if you got $1, you can buy a share. You can buy a fraction of a share of it. All right. So there's no reason anymore for you not to be investing in the stock market. Also, you don't need a broker anymore. You simply go on one of these apps and you buy your own stuff. Okay. So there's no reason to be scared about it. There's no reason to not invest, because this is literally passive income that the rich and the wealthy make and participate in every single day. And the rest of us can benefit from too. Okay. So you can, let's run it back. So you can open up a brokerage account. Okay. We'll open up a brokerage account, select your REIT. Okay. And then you purchase your stock just like you would purchase your REIT just like you would any other stock. And if you don't have all the money, you can buy fractional shares. Elise says her grandson just asked if I still do Naturalicious. I do. 100%. We sell it on the website every single day. Elise, tell your grandson I said thank you for asking. But yes, for those of you who don't know, I own a company called Naturalicious. We make hair care and skincare products. Have done that for the past 11 years. And so that's mostly what people know me for. But yes, Elise, and how are you? It's so good to see you. Please let him know that I am still selling Naturalicious. I still run Naturalicious. And in fact, for those of you who are Naturalicious customers, we are currently working on our 12 days of Christmas that we do every year. So you know that's coming up soon in December. So just stay tuned for that. Okay. All right. So let's talk about 7 different REITs that are amazing that I love. Okay. And when I do this, I'm also going to share with you my screen, because for those of you who are over here on YouTube, if you're on Instagram and you want to see this, you got to come over on YouTube. I'm going to share with you my screen because, you know, I like to run money math. I like to do numbers because I like you all to see in real time, not just have pie in the sky, like ideas of what it could be. I want you to see what it really would be when we actually do the math. Okay. Now, they will teach you all day long in school about the Pythagorean theorem and the order of operations and calculus and trigonometry and all this other stuff you probably ain't never going to use, but they're not going to teach you money math. Like, why? The thing that you actually need, they don't teach you that, but they teach you all this other stuff that unless you're a mathematician or maybe an engineer, right, you're never going to use. I ain't never used my trigonometry class in life. I did get an A though when I took it. But I never used it. Yeah, it's me. Says, hey Gwen, do you offer one-on-one meetings? I sure do, but yeah, it's me. And I'm sorry, I don't know your actual name, darling. I'm just calling you by whatever it says on the screen. So I do have one-on-one offerings, and I will post that link in the comments. But I think you might even benefit more from my group called My Rich Friends. So My Rich Friends is a monthly and a lot less expensive than me one-on-one. It's a monthly membership where we discuss higher level topics about money. So like, for example, today we're talking about REITs here, but tonight in My Rich Friends, we're going to be discussing insurance options. So insurance options that help you to utilize insurance in order to build wealth. So you can literally create your own bank with the right insurance vehicles. So that way you don't have to borrow money with interest from a bank or from a payday lender or get a sort of loan. You can literally create your own bank with the right investment vehicles through real estate. So those are higher level, more advanced topics that we're going to be talking about in My Rich Friends. That's a topic tonight, right? That's not something that we will talk about here on this channel because it's a higher level topic. So in that same group, if someone has a question, I answer it right away in the group. So I can share my private one-on-one consultation link with you, but I can also encourage you to sign up for My Rich Friends because it's a lot more cost effective. And you also benefit from the community of people in there who are learning right along with you. So the link to My Rich Friends is below. I just posted the link. And I will also post the link to the private calls as well if you're interested in those. Okay. Thank you so much for asking. You're welcome, my dear. You're welcome. Let me just put the link here for her and then we can get going. Gwen Jameer. All right. So this is my link to. All right. So I just posted the link for My Rich Friends and also the link for the Calendly to schedule a private call with me. Okay. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. The first one that we're going to talk about is called VC. So VC is VICI. Okay. VC is the largest landowner of casinos on the Las Vegas Strip. So if you own VC, you will also own Mandalay Bay. You will own Excalibur. You'll own what else? You'll own the Mirage. You'll also own NGM Grand Casino in National Harbor, right? And Caesars in Atlantic City. So you will own all of these casinos if you own VC. So the next time that you're in Vegas, so some of these REITs are really, really fun ones, like this one, right? When next time you are in Vegas and you step into any casino, you go to the MGM, you go to the Excalibur, you go whatever, like you stepping into your property. You're not just going there to spend money because the house always wins, right? You're not just going there to spend money. You are actually owning this shit, right? You own, this is yours. You run this. Like, just think about it. That's a whole different mindset, right? So you own that. Now I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. How many of you guys remember me telling you about someone that I was dating? I'm sure those of you OGs, y'all remember this. I told you I was dating this guy, and he told me he had like this net worth of like $2.5 million, and he like pretended to like look up his net worth on Google. And remember, I told you, if you remember the stories, just say I remember in the comments. So for those of you who don't know, I was dating this guy very briefly, and he wanted me to think for some reason that he had this like $2.5 million net worth. And so we were on a date, our first date, by the way, and he decides to pull up this screen that looked like Google. And it essentially said that it had his name and it said net worth. And it said his net worth was, $2.5 million. And long story short, I ended up finding out that actually didn't even exist. He created that screenshot in Canva and like just would pull it out on dates to like impress the women he was dating. Right. Because somebody, I'm a question asker. Like 2 + 2 got to equal 4. Right. And like this $2.5 million net worth he had wasn't lining up with where he lived. It wasn't lining up with like some of the habits that he had, the things that he said that he had that he didn't have. Like it just wasn't making sense. So I'm asking questions. And he's like, you ask a lot of questions. I'm like, well, it's just not making sense. Right. So I ended up finding out that basically he was just a big fraud. Right. So one of the reasons that he this is nonsense, right? One of the reasons that he did not have possibly as much money as he probably should have is because he gambled a lot, right? And he decided, yes, Nancy, Mr. Broke. Yes, that's him, right? Like you gotta be down bad to be like making up Google screenshots and to show it to people. That's wild to me, right? So anyway, he gambled a lot. And one day he showed me a screenshot of where he has spent like $400,000 at one of the local casinos here in Detroit. And I guess he thought this was a flex or something, but you're dealing with somebody who talks about money all the time, right? So I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good idea, right? So he's like, I spent 400,000. I think he thought it was like me being impressed that he had $400,000 to spend or something. But I'm just thinking like, well, I know the house always wins. So if you spend 400,000, I know you ain't make 400,000. So he then shows me, well, I guess he didn't realize it was on the same screen, how much he had actually made. So he had made $328,000, but he had spent $400,000. So I'm like, bro, you lost. Like, this is not a flex, So he's like, oh, well, that's okay because I make it up in poker. Like I play poker, which is not on the screen, and I make like 50 to 60K a year just playing poker. And I'm like, okay, on a game that's pure luck, not even skill. Like you have to get the right card. Like, come on, bro. So anyway, longer story shorter, the point of this is that he spent $400,000 on this particular on gambling, which is crazy. If you think that's crazy, let me know in the comments. If you think that's crazy and wild that somebody spent 400 grand over the course of 7 years at a casino, let me know in the comments because it just sounded insane to me. But what I want to show you is how much money he would have made had he instead invested that same $400,000 into this REIT that I just told you about. Okay, so let me pull this up real quick. Let me share my screen. Hopefully it shows everything. Okay. Okay, so just give me a second so I can switch this out. That's not what I want. Let me stop sharing that. That's not the look that I want for you guys. All right, so first of all, before we do that, let's do a little bit of research, okay? So I'm gonna share this. It's called VC Properties. That's the name of the stock. I keep saying stock, but the REIT, okay? So, okay, let's take a look at this. So this is a website called Seeking Alpha. It's one of my favorite websites to research stocks, okay? Now, let's take a look. This is VC stock price, okay? Now, we can see that over the past 5 years, this particular stock has gotten over 35.5% gains. Now, keep in mind, the average traditional savings account will get you less than 1%. A high yield savings account will get you about 4 to 5%. This particular REIT on its own in 5 years, over the course of 5 years, got 35% returns. Okay. Let's see, over the past 10 years, what did it get? Is it going to tell us? It's not going to tell us over 10 years, but over the past 5 years, it's gotten 35% returns. Okay, so let's go to our compound interest calculator and figure out how much he would have made instead. All right, so let me stop sharing this, and I'm going to share this other screen with you guys. All right, so let's do the math. All right, so this is the compound interest calculator I shared with you guys last week. All right, so let's say he took that same $400,000. Let's scroll down. All right, so his initial deposit, let's say it was $400,000. I'm just saying that for the sake of the example, $400,000. And let's say he never contributed anything else to that. Okay, he didn't contribute a single dime past his $400K. And he said that was over the course of 7 years, right? Now we saw the estimated rate of return was 35.62, right? 62%. And it compounds annually. So had he, instead of losing $72,000, because he spent $400,000, but he made $328,000, so he lost $72,000 trying to flex, he would have made $3 million had he taken that same amount of money and invested it in the casino REIT, as opposed to spending it at the casino and losing. In 7 years, that's how much money he would have. And he wouldn't have to make up fake Google screenshots. If the math is math, then type math in the comments. If the math is math, then type math in the comments. Okay? Because, and keep in mind, this is the amount he would have gotten on his gain, not including the dividends that this particular REIT pays. So this particular REIT pays, if I look it up on Seeking Alpha, it pays, let's see how much it's paying. It's paying 5.36% quarterly. 5.36% quarterly over and above these gains that he would have gotten on this return. He would literally not have to probably work and not have to make up crazy Google screenshots. All right. Type math in the comments for me if you're like, wow. Okay. All right. So let's talk about another one. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. All right. So VC is one that I really like. Right now, VC is, you can buy a share of VC stock for $32.29. $32.29. You can buy a share of VC stock. Okay. If you guys would like for me to share with you where to find how to see all this stuff, let me know in the comments, because I want you all to be able to research this yourself. I don't just want to teach it to you. I don't want to just, what they say, like, give a man a fish, he can eat for a day, give a man something, he can eat for life, whatever it is. I want to give you what you can eat for life, right? So I don't want to just show it to you. I want you to know how to be able to look it up yourself, okay? Bernadine says, yes, please. Okay, Jennifer says, I would love to know. Okay, so let's go to Google. Let's just simply go to Google, because Google will show us exactly what to do. So let me share my screen again. All right, so here we go. All right, so I typed in VC Oh, that's something else. VC stock. I can type in VC REIT too. So you can see right now, as of today, as of the time I'm making this video, this REIT is selling for $32.54. And it owns, again, all these casinos. So it owns Excalibur, it owns Mirage, it owns MGM, it owns all these casinos. So their primary business is entertainment. Okay. Specifically casinos, right? I'm gonna tell you about another one that owns a lot of entertainment stuff as well. That one's probably like a really, really fun one. But we haven't gotten to that one yet. So $32.56. When I looked at this yesterday, it was selling for $32.29. So it's actually gone up a little bit today. Okay, you can see it's gone up 27%, in less than 12 hours. And the current dividend yield. So this is how you see how much they're paying in dividends. They're paying 5.32%. So however many shares you own, they're going to pay you that number of shares times, or that number of shares times the dollar amount times 5.32%. Okay, so that's how much you will get in passive income. Remember, that is separate from the gains that you get on simply owning the REIT. Okay. Thank you, Shakira. Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man a fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Thank you so much. Yes, that's it. I couldn't remember the saying. All right, so that is how you, let me fix this. That is how you look this up. Okay. Everybody got that? Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you got that. I want to make sure you got it, because we're going to run through some more, and I don't want you to be lost on how to search this. You can simply just search for, again, it's very simple. Just type in the stock. I keep saying stock. Type in the REIT name or the ticker symbol and the word stock after it. And you specifically want to type in stock, because if you type in REIT, it's going to give you information on the REIT, which is fine, but you want to know the stock information, like the stock price and that sort of stuff. So type in stock and it will show it to you. Okay. Okay. Grace says, repeat that math. Brochet says, I don't. I think you guys are a little bit behind. So I'm not sure what math you are referring to. Are you talking about the math for the casino, like how that guy would have owned 3,000 or $3 million? Or are you talking about the math on the 80%? So I think you guys probably came in later than I started. And so you're probably starting from there. So let me know once you catch up when you see me ask this question. Let me know what math you're talking about, and I'll come back and I'll run the math back for you. Okay. Yes, Dr. Nicole. She said, so these REITs have ticker symbols. Yes, they do. So you sell them and buy them just like regular stocks on the stock market. So yes, they have ticker symbols. So this particular one, the same name of the stock is the name of the ticker symbol. So this one is easy. So it's VC, VICI. Okay, Brochet says, I'm talking about what we will earn from VC stock. Grace says, how you figured out what we will earn from VC stock. So I didn't share how much we will earn from VC stock. I share how much that particular person that I was talking about will earn from VC stock. But I'll explain it one more time. Okay, so if you look up, in this case, VC stock, right? You can see that the price, it just went down a cent, but now it's $32.55. So that is how much that particular one share of that REIT, this property owner, that's how much that costs per share. So if you own 5 shares of that, you would do $32.55 times 5, and you would pay $162.75, and you will own 5 shares of this REIT. You got that? Now, in order to do the compound interest, there is a calculator you can go to. I'll give you guys the link. I use it all the time. I shared it last week too. I'm gonna share it in the comments. It's called the Nerd Wallet Compound Interest Calculator. Okay, the Nerd Wallet Compound Interest Calculator. You just click on that, and it'll take you to. That is not the link. Hold on. Ignore that. That did not copy how it was supposed to copy. Let's try it again. Let's see here. Hopefully this works this time. That should work. Okay, so I just put the link in the comments. So it's the Nerd Wallet Compound Interest Calculator. The government also has one. They have a compound interest calculator as well. Either one will work, but this is the one that I tend to use. Okay. So this is very easy to use. I'll switch my screen and I'll show it to you. So I'm going to switch the screen so you can see the calculator. All right. So this is a calculator. Okay. You would just put in however much you were going to initially deposit. So let's say you were going to buy that particular stock for, I don't know, let's say you want to put in $1,000. Okay. I'm just making up a number here. And I'm assuming you would want to continue to buy more shares. So let's say you decide to contribute $100 monthly to this particular REIT. Okay. And let's say you let it grow over the course of 10 years. Well, when we looked at Seeking Alpha, which is a website that we use in order to look at the return rate, we can see, and I'll pull it back so you guys can see it after I share this. We can see that that particular rate of return over the past 5 years was 35.62%. Okay. And it compounds annually, not monthly. So if you put $1,000 in and you at $100 a month and you let it grow over 10 years, assuming the rate of return is about the same, you will have almost $100,000 as opposed to just $1,000. And this calculator will show you your interest versus how much you deposited. So over that time, you would have basically put in $13,000, but $86,000 would have been interest. So you would have $99,000. What is the other site you use to look at the price you pay for the stock? I'll share that in just a minute, Shonda. Okay, I want to make sure that they got how the math is calculated first. The website is called Seeking Alpha, by the way. All right, so let me share that screen. Unfortunately, it doesn't let me just switch from screen to screen. I have to unshare and reshare. So this website is called Seeking Alpha. Okay, so you just type in Seeking Alpha and it'll take you to a screen that looks like this. Okay, it's like a lot of numbers and all charts and stuff. You just type in the symbol. So in this case, it's VC, VICI. It'll come right up and you can see that. Okay, so this is, again, the same price that we saw over on Google. And you can see if you just click on the return time, it'll tell you the amount of the returns have been over a period of time. So that green bubble right here, it tells you how much it has returned in that period of time. Okay. So in the past year, year to date, so from January to now, 2.13%, but over the past 1 year, 12 months, it's returned almost 20%. Past 5 years, it's returned about 35%. Okay. So that's how you see that. Okay, perfect, Brichet. She said she's good now with the part that she needed. Thanks for the recap. You are so welcome. I don't want anybody lost, okay? I want all y'all to understand. So just simply type in Seeking Alpha. I'll put it in the chat for you guys so you can click on it and save it to your favorites. Seeking Alpha. And you can look up any stock with this website. Okay. You can even look up the dividends. I showed you how to find it on Google, but if you type in if you just click on dividends here on the website and you scroll down, it'll tell you the same, that it's giving 5.36% dividends. Okay. And it also tells you that it's paid quarterly. So I'm going to do a whole stock basics course, and we'll dive into kind of how where all these numbers sort of mean, like what the declare date is, the record date, all that sort of stuff. We'll do that another time. But for the purposes of this, I just want you to make sure you understand the dividend yield and how to find out how much the stock costs and how much you would have over the course of, 10, 12, 20 years. Okay. So VC is a really, really fun one. Okay. So let's look up another one. Prologis, they specialize in facilities and warehouses. So they own a lot of Amazon warehouses. All right. So we're going to look at Prologis. And I believe their symbol is PROD, but I could be wrong. Let's type of Prologis. Oh, it's PLD. My bad. So PLD is a little bit more expensive. It's $116 a share. Okay. And they are paying dividends of 3.33%. And they also pay quarterly. And Let's see if we can see how much returns. So in the past year, it's gotten 17% returns. Past 5 years, it's got 32% returns. In the past 10 years, this has gotten almost 200% returns on this one REIT. Again, not including the amount that you would get for dividends. It's like money in the bank. Money in the bank. Okay. So Prologis is another one. They own Amazon warehouses. They also own Home Depot warehouses. They own FedEx warehouses. So you can literally own these companies as well if you own Prologis. Okay. That's another one. The third one is like, it's not my favorite one, but I think it's the most fun one. And I'm actually going to switch over to Google because I think the Google website is just easier for newbies to kind of navigate. Seeking Alpha is a little bit more, there's a lot of charts and stuff on Seeking Alpha. And so if you're kind of new to this, it makes it kind of overwhelming. So let's just go back to Google, okay? Because Google's going to give us the same information that we want. All right, so we're going to now look up EPR. So EPR, they actually own experiential REITs. So they're considered an experiential REIT company. So basically, they own things that provide experiences. So they own Topgolf, they own Six Flags, they own a lot of movie theaters, they own some bowling alleys. Like they own fun stuff, right? So this is one that my son actually owns because he likes all that stuff. Like he likes Topgolf, he likes Six Flags, he likes movie theaters and bowling alleys and all that sort of stuff. So this is a really good one for young people because it's something they can relate to. So if we go to Topgolf, or if we go to Six Flags, he's like, I own this, right? So it really makes it something that they can really relate to easily. But you can own this as well. So when you go to Six Flags, if you own EPR, you will own shares of Six Flags and movie theaters and bowling alleys and other sorts of fun stuff, right? Including Topgolf. And this one, as you can see, is less than $50. It's less than $50 to own a share of this. And the dividend yield is 7.22, which is the highest one that we've seen so far. So again, you simply buy this on the stock market like you would a regular stock. The ticker is EPR. And as you can see, the ticker symbol right here is EPR. And you would simply buy it. You can buy as many shares as you want. At this rate, you can buy a lot of shares, a lot more shares than you could ever possibly buy if you were trying to own an actual house that you were using for investment property or an actual commercial real estate property, right? I bought a commercial real estate property and it was $400,000. And I definitely had to take out a loan for it. And that was the business that failed. That building held the business that failed. So when I sold that building back, the economy had went down and I lost money on that building. That's a really crappy situation to be in. You won't have that situation if you buy this. So again, you get to be a real estate investor without all the hassles, headaches, and work that it takes to own an actual building. All right. Now the next one is called Realty Income, and for some reason their stock ticker is just O. I don't know why it's O, but it is. But it's called Realty Income, and Realty Income is nice because they pride themselves on being the monthly dividend company, which means that they pay dividends monthly as opposed to quarterly like everybody else. Right. So they're $60.64 right now. And as you can see, all of these have gone up. All the lines are green, right? We haven't gotten to any that are red so far. All right. This is $60.64 per share. And the dividend yield on this is 5.21. So for every dollar that you own of this, they're going to pay you 5.21% in dividends monthly. Again, passive income that you can hold and have. I suggest that you reinvest those dividends, but you can certainly just take those dividends home and spend it on whatever you want to. Okay. Now, Realty Income, they own a lot of property as well, but their main claim to fame is that they are the monthly dividend company. So they're paying you literally monthly. There aren't very many REITs or stocks themselves that pay monthly. So this one is literally a gem. Michelle says she has that REIT right now. I love it. I love it, Michelle. How long have you had it? Let me know how long you've had it. All right. All right. We got a few more. So the next one is Regency centers. They own and operate shopping centers that are anchored by big grocery stores. So like Publix, Kroger, Meijer, whatever, right? So if you are into that, you can simply look for Regency, and that is REG. Regency centers. They're 72, 73 almost dollars a share. Again, the line is green. That means they've been gone up. And their dividend yield is 3.69. So not as high as some of the other ones that we saw, but still under $100. Okay. The next one I have for you is Federal Realty Investment Trust, and that is FRT. They own whoever said they want to own a Target. They own Target. They own TJ Maxx. They own Ross Dress for Less. They own Costco. They own all these stores. All right. And so again, if you would like to get into that, that one is available to you as well. Now, I'm only giving you a small fraction of REITs. There are hundreds of REITs on the stock market, but these are some of the ones that I really, really like, and I suggest that you start looking into. Now, let me give you my favorite one. Remember, I told you I was going to save my favorite one for the last. So my favorite one, it costs the least, but it pays the most. All right, so let's look at this one. This one's called GNL. Oops, that's not it. I typed in K. All right, so GNL is only $8. Y'all, it's only $8 a share. And when I looked at this yesterday, it was $7.92, which means it has gone up quite a bit in less than 12 hours. Okay, so it's less than $10 a share, and it owns Home Depot stores, Hobby Lobby, Kohl's, Michael's, all those sorts of stores, right? And look at the dividend yield on this one. This one's 13.64%. 13. This is the highest one that we've seen. So less than $10 and pays the highest returns. Let's run some math on GNL and see if we can find out how much we could make from GNL. This is called, their name of the company is called Global Net Lease. Okay. So GNL, because it's a smaller company, is relatively newer than the other ones that we talked about. They haven't been in existence as long, so their returns aren't as great, right? But they've gotten about a 5% return. So let's see if we pay $5. I'm sorry, we pay $8. Let's stop the screen and share a different one. Share screen. Share screen. Okay, compound interest calculator. All right, so we put $100,000 of GNL stock. That means we're going to be able to buy a whole lot of GNL. We put in $100 more a month, and we let it grow for 10 years. And we're going to bring this down to 5% growth. Okay, so in 5 years, annually. So in 10 years, we will have $17,000 of stock in GNL. That's if it continued to get, if it continued to get the returns that it's getting. Now, that's about on par with a high yield savings account. So at that point, you might as well just put in a high yield savings account. But in the past 10 years, GNL has gotten about 11%. So if we do that, and if it were able to get that amount, now again, the stock market goes up and down. We never really know what it's going to do. But if it were able to get about the 11% return that it got traditionally, we'd be looking at $23,000. And all we did was put in 13. We would have gotten $10,000 in interest just for it sitting there. So again, I love, love, love REITs. But let me tell you what I feel like the best play is. Let me start sharing my screen. All right. So a really good play is, think about this. Let's say you really love Home Depot. Okay. If you own Home Depot, you could buy the Home Depot stock, right? Then you could own the REIT that owns the Home Depot warehouses, which is, what is that? Prologis. And then you could also own the REIT that owns Home Depot stores, which is GNL. So now you own the company, the place where the warehouse that they're sending the stuff from, and you own the storefront itself. So you own pretty much all of Home Depot if you run that play. Love it, right? And with the REIT, remember, you are benefiting from the 20% pass-through tax advantage. So you're only paying 20%. I'm sorry, you're only paying 80% of the taxes on the dividends that you got instead of 100% like you would your normal regular income. Like, you can't beat it. Can't beat it. Okay. Bernadine says, my daughter is a GM at the new warehouses. Oh, congratulations to her, Bernadine. LaShawn says, can you look up ACC, which is American Campus Communities, develops student housing on campuses? Sure. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. LaShawn. Let's share with everybody else so they can see it as well. And let me just switch this over. Okay. You said it's ACC. I've heard of ACC. So let's type in ACC stock. Let's see what ACC. Oh, ACC is going down. I don't think that's the right company. Hold on. Let's see. American. That might be a different ticker. American Campus Communities stock. Oh, it is ACC. Okay. Okay. So ACC looks like it's going down. It is pretty expensive. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do I feel like that's not the right. Yeah, make it. Okay. It is. Oh, ACC. I want to make sure we have the right ticker. Okay. No, this is not the right ticker because this says it's something else. Okay, hold on. What is the ticker symbol for this company? It says it's ACC, but when I look up ACC, something else is coming up. I don't think this is it. Something tells me this is not it. Let's see. Yeah, because this is a limited Indian cement producer. No, this is not it. That's not it. Is it traded on the stock market, LaShawn? Because it might be a private, REIT. Let's see. ACC Live stock. I'm not finding it on the stock market. It might be a private REIT. It's from the NYSE. Do you know the stock ticker? Because it's not ACC. What is the stock ticker for American Campus Communities? It says ACC, but when I look up ACC, something else is coming up. Let me try Seeking Alpha. ACC. It's not coming up. It's not coming up, LaShawn. So I don't know what it is. Because ACC is some Indian company. ACC NYSE. Let's see if we can look up New York Stock Exchange. Let's dig into this, see if we can find it. It's not even showing up, LaShawn. So maybe it got delisted? I don't know. When I look it up, it's not showing up for me. So I don't know what's wrong with my computer. But Shonda said it's showing 65.45, but it's not showing up for me. I don't know why. So feel free to send me a screenshot, but it's not showing up on my. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why it's not showing up, but it's not showing up for me, as you can see. You're welcome. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's not even showing up on Seeking Alpha. It's not showing up on Google. It's not even showing up on NYSE.com. So I don't know. But anyway, if you know what the return is, share it. Feel free to share it in the comments. Otherwise, I would be happy to share it, but it's not showing up for me. All right. So as I was saying, you guys, this is a really great way for you to be able to invest in real estate with literally almost no money, very little money. And you can have that money grow over time. So if you've ever wanted to get into real estate investing, if you've ever wanted to own commercial property or even own one of these stores that we talked about, Best Buy, Target, Ross, TJ Maxx, Home Depot, Lowe's, who else have we talked about? Walmart, Sam's Club, BJ's, Costco, all these properties are owned by REITs. They're owned by REITs. And again, this is something that a lot of people never talk about. You hear people talk about the stock market, but I'm pretty sure most of you have not heard of REITs before. Oh, okay. I knew it went crazy. LaShawn said it went private. Okay. She said it went private. Okay. So thank you for confirming that I was not nuts and that my computer was not playing tricks on me. It went private. So that makes sense. It probably was a publicly traded REIT at one point, and now it's a private REIT. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. As I said, this is a way for you all to be able to invest in these REITs, commercial properties, without all of the headaches that come with actually owning and running an actual property in the traditional sense. So when I tell you, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, I keep saying it, growing income, growing wealth, truly building generational wealth passively is not difficult. It's actually extremely easy. The challenge is that they never teach us these sorts of things in school. They don't want us to know it, because if everybody's able to earn money just sitting on their butt playing video games or shopping at the store or doing whatever they want to do, we will have no economy. Nobody's going to be working if you got a couple $1 million in the bank that you didn't have to work for. I know I'm not, right? So nobody's going to work. So therefore, we have no employees if everybody's chilling at the house, just earning income from the stock market. So they've got to keep you in the dark. They've got to keep you ignorant to these sorts of things, because if they don't, you will be like, oh my gosh. It's like one of those things like, well, if it's so easy, why doesn't everybody do it? Everybody doesn't do it because everybody doesn't know it. But you came here to the Get Money Show to learn. And so I'm going to teach it to you. So hopefully you become one of the people that are able to benefit from these sorts of things. Now, again, as I always say, passive income is not fast income. Okay, you're not going to get rich tomorrow from this. You're not going to get rich in 12 months from this. But if you are consistent, if you are diligent, if you're consistent, if you have discipline and you have patience, over time, that money will grow significantly because you will benefit from compound interest, which is what Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world, or ninth wonder of the world, because it is pretty miraculous how quickly your money will start to grow once you benefit from passive income. Okay. KM Certified Signing says, I thought that I knew about REITs, just wasn't sure. Or I knew about REITs. Not my bad. She didn't think she knew. She did know about REITs. She just wasn't sure which ones to buy. You are so welcome. Make sure that you guys, again, if you haven't liked this channel, click that like button. If you haven't shared this video, please share it, because how many of us know about this stuff? It's really unfair that we are not taught these things in school. Vital sorts of things that will literally change lives. And I just get really tired of hearing about the generational wealth conversation, because as I shared just last week, we can close all the wealth gaps in literally one generation if everybody just invests in the stock market and left their money in there, invested in the right things. In one generation, we will have no more wealth gaps. But that's not what we're taught. What are we taught? We're taught, oh, well, we need to buy from other certain types of businesses, or we need to work harder, or the millennials and the Gen Zs need to stop being lazy. Like, no, that's not how you close the wealth gap. You close the wealth gap because you can't, by investing, because you can never save your way to wealth. You absolutely cannot. It's impossible. You have to invest. And so the only way to close the wealth gap, any wealth gap, racial wealth gap, gender wealth gap, class wealth gap, is to have people invest in the stock market. It's the only way it's going to be done. So yes, Michelle says that's the key to consistency, which I need to work on with my REIT. Yeah, girl, just stay consistent. Just stay consistent. Like, have that money automatically transfer from your bank account over to your brokerage account, and just let it grow, let it build. Remember, it's a bill that you're paying yourself. You are the most important bill that you will ever have. Your light bill, your mortgage, your rent, your car note, all those things are important. But the most important bill that you have is literally you. That's the most important bill you will ever have in life, because when it comes time to retire, or it comes time for you to pass along whatever assets you have to your family once you're gone, none of those companies are going to come to save you. None of them are coming to give you a grant. None of them are even coming to give you a loan. They're going to be like, thank you so much for your payment. And then you're just out of luck. So make sure that you are calculating yourself into your monthly budget. And if you don't have room for yourself right now, I want you to look at your budget and see what you can cut out, or maybe you can create more income for yourself in some sort of way so you have more money to be able to pay yourself, even if it's as little as $10 a month. Something is better than nothing, right? Even if it's as little as $100 a month, which, I mean, come on, it's $25 a week. Like, we spend $25 a week. I just spent what? Going across town for this ice cream that I wanted from the specific spot and €1. I think I spent $27 just doing that, not including the gas, right? So yeah, we spend $25 on nonsense all the time. So $25 a week. If you don't got $25 a week for yourself, that means that you need to probably look at some other things that you're spending money on that you can cut out. Okay. Brochet says, I wish I knew this 10 years ago. I'd be rolling in the dough right now. But you know what? The good thing about this is self-reflection, right? So I feel like we all say that to ourselves, Brochet. It's like, dang, if I knew this when I was 20, if I knew this when I was 30, if I knew this when I was 40, I would be dangerous now, right? But we can't change the past, but we can influence the future. So you may not have been able to change the past 10 years, but you can change the the next 10 years, right? So the past 10 years are gone, but the next 10 years are yours. So start today, right? Pick a stock, pick a REIT, pick anything, right? Get that money invested in the stock market. Can you come up with $1,000? If you can't, that's okay. Can you come up with 500? If you can't, can you come up with 250? If you can't, can you come up with 125? Like, just back into it, right? Some people say that they are not going to invest because they don't have enough money, and that is a lie. We all have money for what we want to have money for. We just might not have the exact amount that we want to have. But if you put in $100 today and that money grows, that's going to be way more than if you had ever put in zero. Correct? So start today, pick a stock, don't overthink it. One of these REITs you could go with. I've also made several videos on stocks that I like, that are all winners. You can go with any of those, right? But just get started today. And I'm so glad that you are saying this to yourself, Brochet, because it's like, yes, 10 years ago, you could have been like in a different spot, but that 10 years is going to fly, right? And so 10 years from now, you'll be like, I'm so glad I did this 10 years ago, because now I'm rolling in the dough. It'll be a different conversation. Jackie, yes, I'm happy to provide the stock tickers for you. So the first one I said was VC, which you already have. Let's see, I wrote these down because I didn't want to forget any of them. The next one I mentioned was, what's the next one I mentioned? Prologis. So that is PRD. PRD. P as in Paul. The next one is EPR Properties. That's EPR. Realty Income is just simply the letter O, just an O. Regency Centers is REG. Federal Realty Investment Trust is FRT. And then GNL, which stands for Global Net Lease. So that's GN, like NL, GNL. Okay. You're welcome, Bernadine. You're so welcome, my dear. By the way, you guys, again, I encourage you to join in on My Rich Friends. My Rich Friends is my monthly membership group where we discuss all things high level money, right? So we talk about kind of like, some really good topics here, but over in My Rich Friends, we're talking about things that are only for advanced topics, things that I'm like, listen, like I'm gonna spend a lot of time and energy and getting the right people to come in and talk about this. Like I gotta provide this to the people who are going to take action, right? Because I realize, like, I make these videos here and you guys are able to watch them for free, and that's fantastic, right? I hope everyone participates in them. I hope everyone puts them to use. But I know that a lot of people are not going to, right? A lot of people talk about what they should do. Not many people actually get it done. And so these certain topics, I'm like, I'm only going to spend the energy and time on this if these people are going to actually put it to work. And I know My Rich Friends are going to put it to work. So My Rich Friends, again, monthly membership. We have all sorts of perks that comes with My Rich Friends. If you click on the link I just posted in the comments, you'll see it here. But some of the things that you get with My Rich Friends are you get you get weekly live hands-on instruction training via Zoom. You get private members only content. You get advanced money strategies, typically only reserved for the 1%. Money mindset coaching with our money mindset coach. In-person events and meetups, which we're planning to have one, which I haven't even told My Rich Friends yet, but I'm gonna tell y'all soon. Planning to have one around Christmas time at my office. For those of you who are able to make it in person, elite 7-figure speakers, people just like you who started out with like Brochet. Like, I wish I had done this 10 years ago and I was just, I was on food stamps, or I was just a regular college student, or I was just a mom or a dad and I was working at my regular job, and they have utilized wealth building strategies and opportunities, that a lot of which we discuss in our group, in order to build their own 7-figure net worth. So talking to them about how they did it, realizing that you can do the same thing as well. Members only merch, members only retreats, all sorts of things come with My Rich Friends that you can never be able to get over here on Just the Get Money show. So click on My Rich Friends and make sure that you join us. And tonight we have a call. Like I said, we're going to be talking with a investment strategist. He's going to be teaching us about wealth building through real estate, utilizing real estate to build our own banks, things that the wealthy and the 1% do that most of us don't or don't know how to do. Using that to build our own banks. We'll be talking about annuities, whole term life, all that sort of stuff as well, but building our own bank so we don't have to take loans from a bank. We don't have to take loans and pay a lot of interest to other people. We can literally borrow from ourselves because it's our bank and literally pay no interest. How do you do that if you don't know how to do it? Again, 1% strategies that the rich and the wealthy and the billionaires do every single day that we just simply don't have access to. So if you want to be a part of those conversations, because the conversations are different when you sit with winners, and My Rich Friends is full of winners. So if you want to be a part of that, click on that. Prologis, Stevie, thank you for confirming. She said it's PLD, not PRD. Did I say PRD? I meant PLD, if that's what it is. Let me confirm it for you real quick. Prologis stock. Yes, it is PLD. So Jackie, I apologize. Thank you, Stevie, for correcting me. It is PLD, not PRD. Thank you for catching that, Stevie. You're great. You're great. If you are interested in joining my free group on Facebook, I want you to join the Get Money crew over on Facebook. We have lots of fun over there as well. I'll drop the link for you. That is a free group to join. There is no cost. We have other conversations outside of what we talk about here as well over there, but nothing like what we talk about in My Rich Friends. So join My Rich Friends, but you can also join the Get Money crew as well if you would like to continue the conversations and be a part of that. And also have access to things like the upcoming Fix My Money Challenge. So we did a Fix My Money Challenge, super, super, super highly attended. We did that back in August. We're going to be doing another one soon, and the wait list is open. So I'm also going to drop the link here in the chat so you guys can join the wait list. First come, first serve from the wait list. So if you are on the wait list, you get access to join the Fix My Money Challenge before everybody else. Last time we did it, a lot of people ended up getting shut out because there was so many people on the wait list. So if you would like to join the Fix My Money Challenge, the wait list link is in the chat, and I will also post it in the comments, in the pinned comments, once I am off of the live. Do you have any other questions before I go? Because I want to make sure everybody's good with this REIT topic. I feel like I answered all the questions. I didn't see any ones come through that I missed. So I'm so grateful again for you guys joining. Again, thank you for helping me get to 3,000 watch hours here on YouTube. And thank you for all of you who watch on Instagram as well. And thank you for all the newbies who are here, and all you OGs who come every single week. And even those of you who are OGs who've only come a couple of times, I appreciate every one of you. It actually fulfills my spirit to be able to teach you these things and help you learn things that, again, they'll never teach you in school. All right. I love you all so much. Rich friends, I will see you tonight on our call. And everyone else, I'll catch you in the Get Money crew. And the rest of you, I will see you next week here on Running Up Wednesday. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.